Today I have a special guest who has been shooting stock photography for over 6 years, and he's going to go over his top 5 tips to get the most out of your stock holiday. Stay tuned. Thanks for stopping back by for another episode. I'm Dustin Hall, and today I'm being joined by guest Alex Rottenberg, who publishes the blog and has wrote the ebook, The Brutally Honest Guide to Microstock. I can't be more excited that he's going to join us today from Spain to talk about how to get ready for our next stock holiday. Thanks for joining, Alex. Definitely a pleasure. So go ahead and tell the viewers a little bit about how you got started, or what was your journey into stock photography.
What's got me started stock photography? I just wanted to pay off my equipment. I made a significant investment in the Nikon and some lenses, and I thought, okay, I like photography, I like traveling, I like taking shots, so how can I monetize my hobby and pay off my equipment, and perhaps if I'm lucky then I use the money to go further traveling. And this was in 2009 when I thought it was going to be a piece of cake. I had a good DSLR at the time, but it was not easy at all because I didn't get past the Shutterstock 7 out of 10 QC test. I tried twice and then I didn't get through it. In iStock I submitted some images and they did okay, but like just a few quarters there, and I just packed it in and did something else. I was playing a lot of online poker at that time, so I was focusing more on that part of the business, you could say.
I think all of us around this age really were into that online poker scene. I know I was, but thinking through that you took that hiatus from stock photography with the limited success in the beginning, when was it that you really got back into this marathon that's considered stock photography?
Well, when I got tired of playing online poker, I was playing a lot, and it was affecting my health and my relationships. I was doing very well, but it was a very intensive time of multi-tabling and hours and hours. I needed something a bit more grounded, and I thought that photography, which I continued to do, would provide me with that. And I was always optimistic, hopefully make some money. So this was 2012 when I tried one more time to get back into it, and I was reading all over the forums, trying to get hold of some books and just seeing if I could make some money finally with stock photography. And I passed the Shutterstock 7 out of 10 eventually, and I just started uploading. This was 6 years ago, so I'm still uploading until today. I'm uploading, so here I am, and I'm doing okay. I'm enjoying the journey.
So 6 years deep into stock photography, obviously things are working for you now. You have a good rhythm, and you're making money from it. By all means, I think that you're a stock expert or a stock photography professional. I definitely strive to do that. Myself being very new to this marathon, I wanted to talk to you today about some things that I think my viewers also have on their minds, and it stems from that I have a opportunity to take a vacation to Jamaica, and the particular place we're staying sits on 7 Mile Beach, which is often rated one of the top 25 beaches in the world. So probably a few pictures can be taken out of there. And I was just wanting you to share your top tips to get the most out of your stock vacation.
Okay, well, exciting. I've never been to Jamaica, but I've heard great things about it. I have a good friend from Kingston. That's going to be very nice, and hopefully no hurricanes. So I would say that my number one tip, well, not number one in terms of the best, but starting with number one is just go out there and have fun. You take images of things that you really find appealing and you enjoy, and you're on holiday, right? So you don't want to be doing things which you don't enjoy. You go to the beach, you take pictures of the beach, you go on the markets, you go take pictures of food, sunsets, and you just go out there and you do what you can. And then you come back in the computer and you just select the best ones. And I think because you're in such a holiday mood, enjoying yourself so much, I'm sure you'll come back with some really good quality images.
Alex, have fun is a great number one tip, because at the end of the day, it is your holiday, it is your vacation. You can't make it all about business. But thinking about a debated side of this, as you're just snapping photos in the markets, at sunset, whatever it may be, would you say to still try to go for more royalty-free or editorial images? And I know this is very debated within the stock community.
Well, I think, if you can go either in editorial is going to be your logical choice, because you're going to be out in public. You're going to be shooting images related to your holiday, which are beaches, resorts, restaurants, cities. It's going to be very difficult for you to have commercial images, that is, images without people, logos, property, unreleased images. So just go for editorials, and if you go capture a scene where it's not very busy, there's not very many logos, you can go out later on, like you did in your last tutorial about with the beer dropping. You go there and you clone out the logo. You can get rid of people very slowly. It takes time, but it could be really worthwhile to do that. But I wouldn't worry about it. Sometimes the returns these days are not great. So you're going to be spending 1 hour, 2 hours on one image so you can make a little bit more money on it. No, you just submit it as editorial, tell the story, put the caption the way it should be, keyword it to the best of your ability, and submit it. And hopefully it would sell. That's the key. But don't spend too long on it. That's the key.
That's an excellent pointer with inside just taking the photos and having fun. Just make it quick and expedient, not to really worry about it, and just tell the story with the image. What would you say your next big tip for the audience is?
The big next takeaway is pack light. I think you take one lens only. I don't think you should be taking all your gear with you. If you can take a GorillaPod, that would be ideal. Tripod even better, but GorillaPod, I purchased one of them a few weeks ago. They're really great. They're very handy. You go inside a church, an old church, you can just put it there. Sometimes people at security have issues with the tripods. As for lenses, you can take a very versatile lens, something that you can capture quite wide angle, zoom. I like the 24-70. I use that, the Sigma 2.8. That for me is a great lens. But you can go for an 18 to 200. It doesn't have to be very wide aperture. I'm sure Jamaica has a lot of light during the day. You don't need wide aperture. At night you can use the GorillaPod. So one lens is enough.
Great advice. Packing light so you don't have to worry about the equipment. GorillaPods are great. I never thought about the point on a tripod, that it gives you that very professional photographer look, and that certain places you might have to have permission to shoot or to do it more of a commercial shoot, even though that's not what we're doing. It also makes people just not act naturally in it. So a GorillaPod is a great piece of advice in terms of packing light.
Yeah, and if you're not checking in luggage, GorillaPod is the way to go, because a lot of airlines, they don't let you check in your tripod. They consider it, as a weapon, really. I had to leave one behind one.
All right, so far you've told the viewers to pack light, take a versatile lens, and have a lot of fun. What's the next key to getting the most out of their stock holiday?
Well, I think, if you can do some footage, that would be really good as well. I'm sure you'll come across some very spectacular scenes. Your camera, I don't know what camera you have, but I'm very sure that it records at least Full HD. So, if you have a tripod, you have a GorillaPod, just set it up. You can do like a nice real-time video of the beach, the flowing water. You can go in the city center, people walking, tourists, restaurants, or a time lapse. I do a lot of time lapses these days, and those are very strong images, strong content. and they do sell regularly. Even though I just started doing it, I'm still slowly starting to get some sales.
So starting to be more of a hybrid shooter, to not just shoot the photos, but also to start to add in videos, whether that be normal video or hyperlapse. I think that that is definitely a key point, something that I'm trying to think more and more about it in terms of selling things today, but also putting video in there, as it does pay a lot more when those do sell. That's a great point that stock photographers and videographers, or stock hybrid shooters, as I like to call it, need to really think about, especially getting started out, to build both of those portfolios.
Fifth tip, I think we're in number 5, that would be to research before you go. So, you find out, you got plenty of time. You told me before the video you're going in October. You have a month, 5 weeks to research. What are the places that are not that in demand, perhaps? What are places which are saturated with pictures? If you're shooting one beach, I've never been to Jamaica, so I don't know, but if you're shooting one very famous, iconic postcard beach, perhaps you can get a different angle that is not very common with the postcards, with the popular images on Shutterstock. Maybe you can, there's a new building there, there's a new festival. You can research if there's something going on, like a Catholic festival, like a holiday. It's endless. So if you have the time, then you know that you're going to be there for that much longer. You can see what events are going to be happening to shoot editorials.
Those are 5 excellent tips, Alex. I thank you for sharing them. I'm sure my viewers thank you as well, as maybe it's spurred some thoughts that they hadn't thought about that they can implement themselves on their next holiday. Before we wrap up here, I want to do a little just kind of rapid fire so that the YouTube viewers can get to know you a little bit more outside of just reading your blog, which is tremendous, but also because you're starting to appear in more YouTube videos. So I think it only gives them a chance to know you a little bit more. First thing that pops in your mind, Alex, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Mac or PC?
PC.
DSLR or mirrorless?
Well, I would like a mirrorless, but I have to go say DSLR. But I'm hoping to get a mirrorless as soon.
Do you prefer shooting landscape or street photography?
I prefer landscape.
JPEG or RAW?
JPEG.
JPEG?
That might be very surprising for some people.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because a lot of the images sold on Microstock, they're sold for such small web usages, 700, 1000 px across, that you can't tell the difference if you post-press a RAW or JPEG. And the RAW just takes up a lot of my memory card and my space. And I think for fine art images, if you do that, I do quite a bit of those. I think it's better to shoot in RAW. But if you're doing Microstock, because this conversation about Microstock, I would just say go for JPEG.
You're right, Alex. I am surprised by that, but your reasoning totally makes sense. It's about speed of getting those pictures to market so they can be sold. The extra time and storage of the memory, probably not worth it overall. So that you check out Alex's blog and his ebook, Brutally Honest Guide to Microstock. It's definitely worth the read. Lots of tips and tricks. Alex, thank you for sharing your time with us today and giving us those top tips. It's greatly appreciated. And remember, if it's worth doing for money.